Hey there, podcast listeners. Are you ready to take your game day to the next level? I'm excited to announce that I've partnered with SeatGeek as their newest brand ambassador. That's right, I'm officially royally quacking about this awesome collaboration. SeatGeek is your go-to platform for finding the best deals on your tickets to all your favorite events. From concerts to sports, they've got you covered. And as a special thank you to my listeners, use code Royally Quacked. That's right, you can use it in all caps, Royally Quacked, for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. So what are you waiting for? Grab your friends, score some awesome tickets, and go make some unforgettable memories together. Thank you for SeatGeek for making it happen.
A father and son, a bond so strong, talking hockey all day long. Royally Quacked, their podcast show, sharing stories, highs and lows. From the Kings to the Ducks they go. Shout and go Kings, go! Quack, quack, they cheer. A father and son, their passion sincere on the ice. Their love appears through the highs and lows in the years. The legends of Gretzky, Solana's grace, passing on history in every case. Father teaching son, a legacy shared, a royally quacked their stories aired. Face off in life, together they stand. Shout and go Kings, go! Quack, quack, they cheer. A father and son, their passion sincere on the ice. Their love appears through the highs and lows and the years. Let go! The legends of Gretzky, Solana's grace, passing on history in every case. Father teaching son, a legacy shared, on royally quacked their stories aired. Face off in life, together they stand.
Man, I'm bored. When does hockey start again? Gosh. I don't know what I'm going to do today. What? Hockey started? Oh my God. Hey guys, welcome back to Royally Quacked, where I'm royally and he's quacked. Wait a second. So is the other guy. He's quacked too.
That's double quacked for you, Lord.
Yeah.
That's
Lord.
Eric Rodriguez that we've talked about many times in our podcast.
Mhm. They heard him a little bit last week, but we had the technical difficulties, so we apologize again for that.
So Eric, why don't you introduce yourself to our fans?
Well, I will say I am Eric Rodriguez, the one that typically is calling Gary during the
podcast.
And so he said, well, if you're going to call me during the podcast, why don't you just get on the podcast? And so here I am for week 2 of a kind of an abbreviated hybrid week from last week. But I had fun last week, kind of doing half the podcast. And this week I intend to do the whole podcast if technology allows us to be friends.
Yes.
Well, I can already tell you, with this connection, Eric, you're so much easier to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because, it's an Arizona thing. We're just going to leave it at that.
It's an Arizona thing.
You mean
we can't keep the hockey team, but we definitely have better technology than LA.
So you're in the backwoods and you're getting good internet? That's awesome.
You know it. Oh, probably borrowing from my neighbor that's 3 miles away, but yeah, I gotcha.
That 100-foot cable is coming from his house to your house.
Yeah, I think I got gum on one corner of the house to hold it up.
All right. Are we ready into team news now?
Oh boy.
Sure.
All right.
Quack news, and then royally
the spoiled news.
Yeah.
All right.
It is spoiled this time, to be honest with you. So Go ahead, Cody. You talk about the Anaheim Ducks.
All right. I'm gonna actually kind of go in the opposite order of my notes, just because the last one I'd rather talk about a little bit more. Here are the players that were assigned to the Tulsa Oilers, the ECHL team, as the one in Tulsa. It's the team under the goals, pretty much.
But you had Vladislav Bataillets, the goalie, and then Sasha Pashajov, and then Jackson Weeb were assigned to the Oilers. Callie Klang, Oscar Dansk, and Jansen Harkins have been added to the AHL San Diego team. And Oscar Dansk and Harkins both passed through waivers to join the team. The last bit of news for the Ducks is the reason why Callie Klang and Oscar Dansk were assigned to San Diego is because the Ducks claimed goaltender James Reimer off of waivers from the Sabres. So I think the main thing why they did this move is because they think that John Gibson is going to be out a little bit longer than probably originally he was supposed to. So honestly, I think it is probably the right move because I'd rather have Callie Klang playing more time down in San Diego, getting more minutes. Oscar Dansk kind of looked a little, what's the word?
Weak?
Yeah, weak. It wasn't the nice way I wanted to put it, but yes, he did look pretty weak. And
he's not ready.
Yeah,
let's be nice and say he's just not quite ready yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, and James Reimer, at least he's a established NHL goalie. Probably not the goalie he used to be, but I mean, I think they're more for a backup role, just in case if something happens to Dostal, or just to give Dostal like that one game break. So, what do you think about this move, Eric?
Well, I think, it's a couple of young Ducks that need a new pond, and we sent them over there, and we hope to get them back. But like you said, I think Dansk was he's just not ready for the NHL yet. But a couple years there, and maybe a stop at the AHL, and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, agreed.
It's another veteran presence.
Yeah, agreed.
Instead of especially if Gibson's out for a while, and I mean, Dostal looked so good last year.
He looked good. He looked good in the last 2 preseason games too.
Yeah, but you don't want to sit there and not have something to back him up.
Well, especially since our first 2 games are back to back. We're recording this, Saturday afternoon, noon, and we play the Knights tonight, or no, the Sharks tonight, and then travel to Vegas to play them tomorrow.
Right.
And you can't, and then we have our first home game on, was it Wednesday, I believe? So having Dostal playing back-to-back games, I think that might be not the best for him. So I think picking up Reimer to play in at least one of these, either against the Sharks or the Knights, is probably the best way to go. Give Dostal that one extra day break.
There you go.
Yeah, they got to carry 2 anyway. I mean, just we don't want to go to the stands to have to cover the net. So
yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to figure out, who would you start? Do you start Dostal against the easy team to hopefully get a better chance of winning that game, or do you play Dostal against Vegas, the harder team? That's the question.
I mean, a win is a win in my opinion, so I'm gonna line it up the way that it was already planned, which would be Dostal tonight, and then I don't know if we'll see what kind of night it is. If the defense can keep the shots on goal down, then potentially maybe he can go back-to-back nights, but I'm sure he's going to need a night off somewhere between now and Wednesday.
Yeah, oh yeah, guaranteed. I'd rather go with Dostal tonight.
In the World Championships, he looked pretty dang good. He might. I bet you he does both games.
I think Reimer goes against the Knights.
Okay, well, we'll see who's right.
Yeah, but
one of us will be right.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, that's it for the Ducks news.
Okay, so on to the Royally news. Nope. The Kings.
No news.
Actually, this is, I mean, if you're a hockey fan, this is sad news that I'm just about to share. Nick Nixon, Hall of Fame hockey announcer. Nick Nixon is entering his final season of play-by-play broadcasting for the Kings. 44 or 45 years, I want to say. That's really sad news. I mean, he's been good that long, and he's already he's been on the Hall of Fame for a while. So that tells you how good hockey thinks he is. And that I don't know what's going to happen after that, after losing Bob Miller and him. I mean, what a team they were. I mean, you can tell me a pair of broadcasters for a hockey team that are as good as those two were. They were both incredible. So
what amazing year for sport, or just period, for the Los Angeles market to have Bob Miller, Chick Hearn, and Vin Scully as their announcers for several years. I mean, Los Angeles has been blessed with great announcers, and Nick Nixon moving on. That's another tough shoes to fill there for the next guy.
Well, just put it this way. You think about Bob Miller, obviously totally kind of a different way of broadcasting than Nick does, but they're both really, really good. You're right, Vin Scully. I mean, how many times do you hear about the Gibson home run and the eloquence of how he spoke? You know, we have been blessed in the Los Angeles market with great announcing. We'll move on because that is definitely, I don't want to stay on a sad note.
Yeah.
Phoenix Copley, Samuel Fagimo, and Jack Stunica cleared waivers and were assigned to the Ontario Reign. And I know I did say that Drew Doughty had successful surgery last week, and they have placed him in LTIR, which is going to help them out financially until he can come back. And then they did loan Andre Lee to Ontario, but they recalled him after they put Drew Doughty on LTIR. And he made the opening day roster, and not only that, he's actually started the first game. So, and that's Kings news. I guess we're going to move on to league news, guys.
Do you have the Kings opening night roster? Like the complete, like who made the team?
Yes. Would you
You
like
want,
to?
Yeah, you want to go through that and go through yours real quick, or do you want me to go through mine while you look it up?
No, I think I know it by heart.
All right. Go for it.
Oh, wow. This is going to be impressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully you can pronounce all the names right.
Obviously, our number... Shut up. I'm still pissed at you that you took 25% of the people I wanted to draft in fantasy hockey to pick before I did.
Oh,
so
God.
you just shut up, boy, or I'm going to slap you upside your head.
We'll definitely save that more for later.
Anyways, first line is going to be Alex Laferriere, Anze Kopitar, and Adrian Kempe. The triple A line or A team, whatever you want to call them. Line 2 is going to be the law firm of Janot, Deneau, and more. And then I got the BFF line, Byfield, Fiala, and Fogel. And then the third line, at least starting, I think the first game was Andre Lee, Alex Turcotte, and Trevor Lewis. In reserve on the forwards is Akil Thomas. Now to the defensive core, it's going to be Mikey Anderson and Jordan Spence. They're the number one pair. Then Gavrikov and Jeff Burrows is the second pair. And then Joel Edmondson and Brant Clark is the third pair. And then they actually have two defensive players finishing up the roster, and that would be Andres England and Caleb Jones.
Well, that was impressive.
That's all off the top of my head. Not bad for an old guy.
Well, it was gonna be a ball joke, Gary. But
Well, you can't say anything bald. All I gotta say is before we go off today, have your daughters come in. I want to see who we're playing against in fantasy hockey. I want to see their faces. Because if they kick my ass, I'm going to congratulate them.
There is one that is very close to beating you this week 1 of our fantasy
Yeah, it's
season.
okay. It's a long season. We'll see what happens.
I think you were 20-2 last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I,
then
you know, I'm gonna. This is
0-1 sounds good this
okay.
year.
Before we move on, watching how the draft went, I can already tell you the competition is a lot different.
Yeah, I
And what
agreed.
really makes me, and nothing against young ladies, young teenage girls, but I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I mean, I don't know how much you were helping them. If they did that all on their own, I'm impressed.
They were given kind of guidelines on the best approach, and they did very well drafting, and they stay on it and check it kind of daily. So for their first teams, I'm kind of
I was impressed.
They definitely stole. I want to say at least both your daughters at least stole 1 or 2 players each. The ones that I was about to draft.
Yeah, I struggle. Well,
I was. You know what? I'm sure every one of them stole something from me. But damn, it was like 6 out of 10 picks. I'm ready, and then you moved it up to it was only 30 seconds, and I had 3 automatic picks, which that really pissed me off.
I told you what to do, and you didn't listen. And you even told me to move it up.
Well,
it was a nice fast draft, I will say. But no, they got in my way a couple of times too. So we're gonna really see how this goes.
But this one, I'm pointing at him on the screen. It was like 6. I mean, and he was in the same room as I was because we had we're celebrating his birthday on Sunday because we didn't see him on Saturday last week, and I'm going, damn, he took another one.
The favorite one was one that was like he wasn't even like the player wasn't even like on the you had to scroll to find this player.
There's a bunch of mine you had to scroll and find. I got to be nice or my wife will be mad at me when she listens to the podcast.
I know for sure one of them was it Shea Theodore. I know
you took Shea. It was not just him.
I know, but that was the one I for sure remember because I had to scroll down to find him.
Hullebuck.
Yeah, but that was his first pick. Yeah, Connor was like that was early, right?
No, he didn't take his first pick.
I think that was my second pick.
Second pick. Yeah. Okay.
He was going to be my second pick.
Yeah. Well,
because I had I'm going to be honest. If you really want to do well, you don't start number 1.
Yeah.
You start like
middle
of the pack.
Middle. I was 7th last year, 7th or 8th.
Yeah, out of 10.
Yeah, and you get the overall talent's better.
Yeah.
So picking 1, that's the first time I've ever picked 1.
Yeah.
But when I saw that, I was like, ouch, because the next time you go out is 17. So
yes,
that's a big gap. I mean, you got 17 and 18.
Yeah,
but the teams look really good, and I'm just excited that my 2 teenage daughters have teams.
It's going to be very competitive from what I can see. Very competitive. Well, the other 2 people in, is it just kale salad and then Los Patos?
Yeah, Justin.
Oh, and Jeremy.
Yeah, my friend Jeremy.
Yeah, no offense, Jeremy, but I mean, out of everybody that came back, you were the weakest one last year. But the other 2 guys, I mean, Kale Salad beat me one year. He had 500.5 points. I had 500 points and beat me in the final.
Really?
Yeah. And then Justin, he works hard
every year.
He works hard, and I can already tell. I watch things and I watch. And I go, this is gonna be really competitive. I was ready not to play this year, but because of the podcast. So, let's move on to league news.
Well,
you want to be part of league news, Eric?
Can I go over my opening night roster first?
No,
it's not opening night yet for us.
I mean, what are you talking about? A second to last place team? You want to talk about?
Oh boy, no.
Oh, so Eric, you heard about my?
We just got royally whacked.
Well, You heard my
Instead
my
of
very
quack?
take I had a month ago or so, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Ducks will win a playoff series before the Kings do. That's my hot take.
That is a hot take. That thing's on fire for sure. It's like a paper airplane on fire.
Yep.
Yeah, it's already burned up and gone.
This Kings team coming out this week, watching the Kings play Buffalo, and then as we're recording this, they're playing Boston. They have played well in their first two games, and the line changes just. And Kemper, I love Kemper at this point in the game. We'll see. I mean, it's a long season, but they've come out the gate really nice.
No, I know. Well, they came out really hot last year too, and but all they have to do is play Edmonton in the first round again, and
Yeah, Gary knows about that. Remember Edmonton?
Yeah, I do.
So, all right, I'm gonna just go over the opening night roster real quick. There's only like a few set lines for sure. I know the first line is Killorn, Carlson, and Gauthier. Second line is Fabry, McTavish, and Zegras. Third line, Vetrano, Strome, Terry. And I believe the last line is Leeson. It was Lundestrom, but that's the news I forgot to add. Lundestrom had a little minor injury during practice a couple days ago, and I forgot to add that in the notes. It was very, very minor. He just had to get helped off the ice, but they're saying he's supposed to be like a day-to-day injury.
Only had to get helped off the ice.
Well, I mean,
it's just minor.
He's
missing a leg. He's okay.
The key is he got off.
Yeah, but if you think about it, with hockey, you get helped off the ice, and all of a sudden you're back playing like 2 shifts later. It's not like basketball where you hurt your thumb and you need to get carted off in a freaking wheelchair.
A what?
Yeah, nothing. I'm not going to name names, LeBron. But
Thank God this isn't a basketball podcast.
Right. But anyways, Kobe only tore his Achilles and shot 2 free throws and walked off on his own. So that's why he's better than LeBron. Anyways, but here's the opening night roster. We got Dostal, Jackson Lacombe, Cam Fowler, Urho Vakanainen, Brian Dumoulin, Radko Gudas, Trevor Zegras, Robbie Fabry, Ryan Strome, Alex Killorn, Troy Terry, Brett Leeson, Isaac Lundestrom, Mason McTavish, Brock McGinn, Pavel Mintyukov, John Gibson, but he's on injured reserve right now, Ross Johnston, who I don't want on this team, James Reimer, Olen Zellweger, Cutter Gauthier, Tristan Luneau, Frank Vetrano, and Leo Carlson. And that is the Ducks opening night roster. So now we can go into league news.
I think we should add an effect right there, like where you hit like the quacks. Remember when we used to have those little blowhorn that sounded like quacks back in the day?
Yeah. Well, he had some.
Yeah, I just
we have been using the little like a clap or whatever.
I mean,
wah, wah, wah. Something like that.
There you go. There you go. You have a sound effect. All it took was Lord Gary to start making effects, and bam, there they are.
There we go.
Hey, we got effects now.
Hey.
On our way up here.
Hey, studio guy, start doing your job, will ya?
Yeah. Stupid guy.
Yeah, really.
All right. League news now. So I guess it wasn't 64 million reasons to re-sign with the Bruins. It took 66 million reasons to re-sign with the Bruins. Jeremy Swayman inks a 8-year by $8.25 million AAV for a total of $66 million to stay in Boston.
Okay.
So what do you guys think about that ending note for that?
Not shocked.
In my honest opinion, I still don't think right as of right now, 8.25 I think was a little too much, but I understand probably why, because maybe if they wait another 2 to 3 years, he's probably going to be in the 10 million range
or 12.
or 12. I don't know if he's going to be in the 12 million range.
Well, the new CBA only goes through 2025.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And and they've paid back all the COVID stuff. So the cap's going to go up quite a bit. So players are going to make more money. I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, if hockey was basketball, Leon Draisaitl would be sitting on the bench, not playing.
Right.
Connor McDavid, he might get 3 minutes a game. I mean, honestly, that's the difference in pay.
Yeah.
I mean, hockey players are, compared to other sports, are way underpaid. And yet,
Agreed.
we have a whole lot less news than the other sports does. I mean, there is news.
Negative news, for
Negative
sure.
news, I should say, yes. So, anyways, what do you think, Eric?
I'm going to add that it's, being in Phoenix and watching a team come and go, basically. I mean, I saw them come into the league. And then just watching what happened last year, most hockey fans, to me, come off as very loyal to the sport. So they really love the sport. They keep up with it. They usually have a lot of depth to them as a fan. And hockey, just they're played in smaller venues. They kind of go, like here in Phoenix, the Coyotes would never get covered. It was always the Cardinals, the Suns, and the Diamondbacks. And so that's impacting in a lot of markets. Where in Boston, you're going to hear about the Bruins. And so some of these smaller markets that are struggling, just like Atlanta, the same way, people just got to get behind these teams and throw their loyalty into them. Like, you can't have the transient fans. You know what I mean? That just doesn't work. So hopefully our fan base, when a team comes back here in the next 5 years, hopefully, fingers crossed, people will get in behind it and stay behind it. But ultimately, you're right. The hockey needs more support in order for the finances to change.
I would say the only thing about the whole Arizona, the hockey thing, like I agree, they deserve, the fans and everyone there deserves a team. I just hope they get the right owner for that team, because that team would have like one good season and then they're like a bottom feeder again, like instantly the very next year. So they never like fully stayed competitive year after year. They had like that in 2012. They were the number 2 or 3 ranked team in the West, and then they were bottom feeders again. And then they had that 1 year when they brought in Taylor Hall. They were like getting competitive again. The very next year, they were bottom feeders again.
Well, and ownership's always been a problem in Phoenix, especially with that franchise. And the latest owner was an abomination to NHL owners.
Thank God for that.
But I think he's already. I mean, that ship's already left port and it's long gone. So hopefully, the local market is hopefully supporting Matt Ishbia to take on the team. Don't know if he's going to do it or not, but he's been a good owner for the Suns early. Not afraid to spend money, obviously, with Beal and Durant coming over. So hopefully we'll get a competitive franchise, but I think he too would have wanted this team to move on and have a fresh start.
Agreed.
Oh, let's get back to the news. The Wild have re-signed goaltender Jesper Wallstedt to a 2-year extension worth $2.2 million AAV. Overall, $4.4 million. Eric, you got the notes? You want to do the next one?
You don't want to say that name, Dad, don't you?
What name? Oh, I didn't even look at that.
Actually,
if you need help, I'll help you with the name, Eric.
Hey, why is there a hashtag on these notes?
It's me copying and pasting it, and sometimes I forget to take off certain things.
All right. So the Canucks have re-signed forward Nils Hoglander.
Right.
Said it right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
To a 3-year extension worth $3 million AAV.
Yep. $9 million overall. I think it was a good move.
It's good. I felt like he scored last night. I want to say in the first period. We happened to be catching the game, so I think he did.
I heard he scored after the game.
Oh God. Oh,
wow. Just kidding.
This This guy
He
with
did
his
score.
snipes, huh?
By the way, yes, Eric, you're right. He scored the first goal of the game yesterday.
Yeah, they were playing Philadelphia, I think, last night, and caught that. And the Canucks look good. I mean, they're off a
Yeah.
little bit, but they look good.
Yeah. Well, they don't
Well,
have their number one goalie yet.
If they get Demko back, watch out. They
Yeah.
could be a Stanley Cup finalist.
Yep.
Yeah.
If everything works well, because it takes a whole team to do it. So
Next bit of news: the Seattle Kraken have named Jordan Eberle the second team captain in franchise history. It's funny because actually,
Who was their first captain?
Mark Giordano.
Oh, yeah, the journeyman Giordano. Hey, you
I
pulling
got-
out bobbleheads?
Well, this is when I went to Seattle, and this is the bobblehead we got.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was Jordan Eberle.
he's
Ah,
he says if you want to watch hockey, you want to go see a game in Seattle. He said
Yes.
it was an awesome experience, and we're actually talking about doing stuff like that. Go to Vegas, go to San Jose for a game. I don't care if it's the Kings or the Ducks. I just
Yeah.
love hockey.
Yeah.
Chances are, if we get the ladies go, we'll go to a Ducks game, probably.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is a Ducks fan. I don't care. I love hockey. I'd love to go see something in San Jose, go to Vegas, even go to Seattle eventually and see the Kraken.
Yep.
Because I
But
love their
now too.
that'd be a good time. Everybody go out to a city and maybe get a back-to-back or something. It'd be kind of fun.
We're talking about doing road trips here and sometime in the future.
Yeah,
and
we
doing
just
all
got to
that.
we just got to hit the lottery to be able to get that to happen. That's it.
Gotta love that.
Well, and the next bit of news is the world champs, the Panthers, have re-signed forward Carter Verhaeghe to an 8-year extension worth $7 million AAV.
He deserves every penny of that.
Absolutely deserves every penny of that. I listened to the games during the Stanley Cup Finals, and the name I heard the most was Verhaeghe, more than anybody else. I mean, and that's a lot of things what people don't realize is sometimes they're the guys that keep the puck in the zone and the goal score happens, but without them, that doesn't happen. So when you think of like, geez, it's Ovechkin's scored 50 goals. Well, there's somebody who helped him, and it might not even get an assist, but they helped him score those goals.
Yep.
So that's one thing I've always talked about any team I ever coached is that everybody's important. Right, Cody?
Agreed.
What did I say that one year in soccer? What was that kid's name? He was in the band.
He was in the band.
Remember the one kid? I
When
go,
he told
hey,
you to kick the
my
ball
goal
down the
this
tuba."
year is to make him a better soccer player on your 14U team.
Oh, you're talking about Andres?
Andres. And we almost got him to score a couple goals, and he was so slow. I mean, he was.
I
Poor
hope
Andres.
I
Hopefully
really
Andres
hope
isn't
Andres
listening.
doesn't listen to this.
But did he get better?
No, he was.
He got way better.
and faster.
Yeah, he played
I
better.
think I think
My
I tried.
ultimate goal, if I did that, I won.
I think there was one game where I think we were winning. I was just trying to get him to score. Like I would have a wide open net, and
And
I
we
was
were
like,
all
I'm going to pass it.
And he got robbed on one of them.
Oh, it went just over the crossbar. I was like,
But he got robbed. I think the goalie saved one. One went right over the crossbar.
right over.
And so, it's so funny. It's just, sometimes it's you're as strong as your weakest link. Is
Yeah.
the way I always looked at it when I coached a team. So
Yep. All right. Next bit of news: the Senators have re-signed goalie Linus Ullmark to a 4-year extension worth $8.25 million AAV, $33 million overall. Seems like he wanted this. Him and Swayman wanted the same amount of money.
That's exactly what was happening. They were only paying one.
yeah, didn't he earn it in his first game beating Florida?
Shut out? Didn't he shut out Florida?
No, I think they scored one goal.
Or he shut out? Didn't he get a shutout his first game? Or am I
Maybe.
thinking of somebody else?
Well, he beat Florida. I think it was 3-1 or 4-1.
Let's see. I'm gonna look it up.
You're gonna look it up.
Yeah, you guys can talk about the next bit of news.
About Florida, though, going backwards, Did you get any information on the Barkov injury?
Oh, it's right here. He's out 2 to 3 weeks.
Oof.
Yeah. So, and I have him on my fantasy team too.
Now, here's a guy. I mean, he's a decent fantasy hockey player. But if you're really playing hockey, you want him on your team.
Yeah.
And everything out of Florida, that the guys that I know that know him, he's an incredibly good human being too. So to see him bang the boards the way he did, and he was down, that's a bad situation happening to a really good human being. So I hope he gets back quick. But Florida definitely needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime you lose one of your best players.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. Even if we're going to play him, I want to see the best against the best.
Agreed.
Right.
I don't wish injury upon anybody like that. So, unless it's basketball.
Oh boy.
Let's keep in the same sport.
We'll talk about
Gary woke up bitter with basketball this morning.
I've been bitter for a while, Eric, but that's okay. You want to take the last bit of league news there, Eric?
I can do the last one if you want me to.
Sure.
Yep.
Is this the Kraken?
Yep.
Have re-signed goaltender Joey Decord to a 5-year extension worth $5 million AAV or $25 million overall.
Yeah.
What
These goalies are making some bucks.
What I can't believe is he's not number one.
He is number one.
Well,
Grubauer is good. He's older.
Good, but he's
Decord was the guy last year.
Yeah.
No, I mean there's definitely a passing of the torch going on there in Seattle, but Grubauer still is good for 30, 35 games.
Yeah, I think that's going to be more of a 1A, 1B thing, and I think Decord is going to be the at least the 1A part.
Because I'll be honest with you, if he'd be the number one and play 55 games, I wouldn't mind having him on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Who are the goalies on your fantasy team, Gary?
Olmark, Markstrom.
Pretty good goalies.
Olmark was the one automatic draft. I didn't even know I had Olmark. Cody goes, "You got Olmark?" I go, "I did." I was looking something else up when it all happened. Markstrom, Swayman, and Buffalo.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Nice. Yeah.
I was waiting
the guy
for
with the name you can't pronounce. They're decent. That's probably one of the best. Last year, my goalies were average, and I've won with goalies. I've won with the guys, just the skaters. Every year, it's a little different. This year, I'm not sure where I'm at with that because it's just been a different year. But I'm going to try to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Well, you've got definitely a couple of Vezina guys for sure this year. So we'll see.
Yeah.
From a goalie perspective, I think you've got the strongest set of goalies in our league.
I don't know. Mine.
Well, who had the strongest set of goalies last year, Cody?
Huh?
Who had the strongest set of goalies last year?
Me.
Oh, by far.
I had Vasilevsky, I had Shesterkin, and Sorokin.
How did you guys let him get all of them?
But I didn't win, so why does it matter?
Yeah, well, Vasilevsky had a bad back, right? So
yeah, but that's why what I did this on purpose. I took him and I put him on injured reserve, and then picked up another goalie.
Yeah, I picked a defenseman up the other day.
Yeah, I got active on the wire.
Yeah, I got Hellenbuck, Saros, Bennington, and Urson for my goalies.
That's a good set. Who do you have, Eric?
I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I can't even remember. I know Marc-Andre Fleury was one, but I went after goalies later. Oh, I have Ottinger, my boy, the Vezina winner. Probably Stanley Cup. He'd probably be a Conn Smythe too.
Well, it's funny. I was looking for him, and you'd already picked him, and I didn't even notice it.
See, Eric, you got Ottinger, Fleury, and Freddie Anderson.
Yeah, and Anderson didn't do anything for me this week. But, hey, next week's a new week.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all going to be fun. You'll find it's going to be very competitive.
Yeah.
It'll be very competitive.
Well, I mean,
From
you've got
what I
3
can see in the
200-point teams already, so that's saying something.
I watched and looked at everybody's teams afterwards, and I'm going like, this has probably been the most like uniform. I go, I can't look at this and go, this guy's got the best team. I think they're all pretty good. So in years past, we've had some really doormats, and it's nice not to have doormats. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather come in the middle of the pack and be very competitive than to just, have Cody and one other person.
Well, Cody's not a lock to be in the top 3 either this year. So
but he's always up at the top.
I know my shit.
This might be the year that always stops being always.
I mean, honestly, mine and our team together made the playoffs.
No, we missed it.
Didn't we?
Because
we were 5th. Oh, they were tied. 5th. We were tied. Yeah. Same record. And somehow we lost on that one. The 3 of the top 5 teams in a 10-team league were ours.
Yeah. All right.
We had 3, his team, my team, and we had a team together because we couldn't get somebody else.
Because we had 9 teams.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, I'm like, I'll just make an extra team and we'll just do a team together. Even though I did like 90% of the work for that.
You did all the
he helped me draft, and that was about. He helped me draft, and after that, it was just me.
Well, the thing is that when they're playing, I'm working.
Yeah.
That's why, we kind of got off on this fantasy thing, but that's okay. It's fun.
That's why I was trying to save it for the end, but
it's not on the notes, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Follow the notes, Dad. Come on.
Well, okay. Let's go to predictions then.
No.
My game.
Your game.
Okay, so we had one game on Thursday. The Kings played the Buffalo Sabres. If any of you listened to the game or watched the game, what you saw is the Kings get dominated for a little over 2 periods. Then they decided to play hockey.
Anze Kopitar for the Rocket Richard Trophy this year.
Nice little hat trick first game. Why not?
Oh,
he did it 2 or 3 years ago, and he didn't win the Rocket Richard. So it's not going to happen this year.
I'm joking.
But you know what's amazing? The Kings ended up winning the game 3-1. In a game they got outshot by 33-23. They lost the faceoffs 58.3 to 41.7. The only thing they did better is they had 1 power play goal, but shut down Buffalo 0 for 5.
Wow.
They got out hit 28-16. They did block 19, and Buffalo only blocked 15. Giveaways were close. Takeaways, the Buffalo beat them 8-2, and yet the Kings somehow came up with the win.
Wow, Buffalo had 35 minutes in penalties.
Yeah, but yet they each had 5 power plays.
No, but I'm looking at the thing.
Yeah,
Jason Zucker and Dylan Cousins both had misconducts.
Hey, but I'm going to say your power play kills. That's a big part of the Kings' success is killing power plays.
Their defense,
except for Edmonton. Even last year, we were like 2nd or 3rd in the league, and yet Edmonton just dominated us in the first round.
Well, you're going against playoff McDavid and playoff Draisaitl. That's just...
Well, and it's different.
That's your kryptonite.
It's different this year. They have actually more penalty killers. They're trying to not overtire. Byfield and Fogle have been on the penalty kill too. They basically have 2 guys from each line that are going to be penalty killers. Now, they may not use them all the time, but they have them available. So it's interesting that a guy scores a hat trick and he's not even the number 1 star, because Darcy Kemper was phenomenal. you talk about Vezina Trophy. he had 32 saves, including a penalty shot. How many times and I was listening to the game. I didn't get to see what happened, but how many times he was making saves that Nick Nixon was describing that, yeah, I mean, wow. So, and I already know what happened in today's game. So, it wasn't.
Is this like wrestling where we can't give up our next show, or can we say what happened today?
Well, I mean, we're not going to spoil anything for anyone.
The Kings lost in overtime 2-1 to Boston and Boston.
But did you notice too? They killed in power play. They killed them all.
In today's game,
yeah,
I did not see. I don't have the stats up for the game yet. I just saw that they had lost in overtime, like 3 minutes in. You know, and losing in Boston's nothing to. I mean, it's still got a point out of it. So, but anyways, like I said, number 1 star was Kemper. Number 2 star was Kopi. I mean, some great plays at the end of the game. Byfield went and chased down a puck, backhanded it to Kopi to get that 3rd goal, natural hat trick. It was incredible. To get totally outplayed and win a game, you know, and other podcasters, and I'm not saying who, were really like bad talking how bad the Kings were. So to me, I'm looking at it in a different total perspective, guys. You know, so if you actually do listen to our podcast, I'm not saying you're not right, that they did look really bad at times. But when you win a game, when you look bad, you ought to be smiling on your face, right? You don't deserve the win, yet you come up with the win. And not just by 1 goal, but by 2.
You heard it here first, everyone. We're the best hockey podcast out here. My dad hates every other hockey podcast.
I do not hate them. I listen to them all. I learn a lot from them. I just have a different perspective on that part of it.
You listen to Spit and Chicklets?
I have not.
I only listen to the Pat.
Those guys are great.
One.
Spit and Chicklets. Yeah. Who is that?
Paul Bissonnette is part of it.
Okay.
Yep. That's
I guess you're gonna have that. Well, you know, I'm supposed to be working in an office, and I've been driving.
I'm training, and I'm like 2 weeks behind on all of my podcast.
Well, see, I can listen when I'm driving. I can't listen at the office, so I'm Spitting Chicklets. I'll have to put that on my list.
Yeah, you got 4. You got like 2 to 3 hours to listen.
Definitely recommend it. Those guys are entertaining.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll put it on the list. Now, do we want to move on to?
Yes, we'll do predictions now. All right.
Going to start in the Atlantic again?
We'll start in the Atlantic.
So you can. Are you going to change your mind about? I mean, we actually talked about this last week, but it got cut out because we were losing Eric. We thought we lost the audio. It's so much clearer and more concise this time. So I'm sure the fans would love to hear it. Us do this way instead of giving the cut up version we had last week.
Yeah,
which we did cut and didn't. No.
Yeah, so
it's not going to air to you. This one will.
So Atlantic Division. All right, Eric, who do you have in the 8th spot?
The Montreal Canadiens.
Want to change that after a 1-0 over Toronto in their first game?
Hey, I got to tell you, this Caden Primo, their goalie over there, he had a pretty good game. Have you guys seen him?
Was it Primo? I thought it was Montembeault.
It was Montembeault that shut out Toronto.
Oh, Montembeault actually shut him out.
Yeah.
What was Primo? Maybe Primo was today.
Primo's the backup.
Yeah, but this kid,
Primo's good.
I was watching some video on him, and he's an up-and-comer for sure for Montreal. I mean, they got a lot to build on with Cole and everybody, but as far as doing any better than they did last year, I still think 76 points that they scored last year would probably be around where they'll be again this year. But yeah, they've got some pieces to work with for sure. But this his backup goalie looks like that future might be bright for them if they can get a couple more pieces.
Well,
No.
they're definitely going to get better.
Yeah.
They've drafted well. They've made good moves. But yeah, I agree with you. I still would have them in 8th place for right now.
Same.
So,
Agreed.
Cody, you're up.
All right, so we all got Montreal 8.
You get to go first on 7, Cody.
On 7, I got Detroit at 7.
I have Detroit also.
Well,
Eric?
make that a hat trick. That would put me in there also.
Oh, sweet. We're 6 for 6.
Yeah, it's not going to stay that way.
For now. All right. Now, Dad,
I'm
who do you
thinking
got in the 6th spot?
Yeah, I think I'm going to switch what I said.
Oh, boy.
I think I'm going to put Buffalo there.
All right.
Oh, joining the team. Here he comes.
Yeah, good.
We got a bandwagoner.
Because like I said, we did this last week. I already had everything written down. So I already kind of know what everyone's going to say. So I kind of figured you were going to switch.
I was going to switch that one, didn't you?
I had a feeling you were going to switch that one.
Could I switch Montreal and Buffalo?
If you want.
I'm just kidding. Buffalo will win a few games. They just don't look very good now.
Yeah.
Well, they have some talent on that team. They really do.
No, they do. I just think it's a new coach and everything. They probably just need a little time together, and they'll probably get the hang of it.
Well,
but I also got Buffalo at 6 too.
Right?
Yeah, but okay, we're talking about some of these kids weren't even born when he last coached with Buffalo.
Okay.
So we all got Buffalo at 6, so we're 9 for 9.
So Eric, you're up on number 5.
Number 5. Let's put the Senators there at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got. I got Ottawa at 5.
Oh man, is this gonna be a clean sweep?
No,
maybe not.
This next part might get messed up. So I got Tampa Bay at 4.
I have Boston at 4.
And I've got Tampa Bay at 4.
And see, Dad, this is why we can't have nice things. You ruined it.
Thank you.
God.
It's my job. Somebody's got to do it.
I know.
So might as well be the royal guy. The guy with the scepter. The guy who's reigning over all of you.
You're not reigning all over this podcast because I have the mute button on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
So I could just make this the Cody and Eric show.
Wouldn't that be interesting? We talked about how bad the Kings are.
Cody, remember this?
See, I got protection. I'm good now. I'm safe. All right. Number 3.
Podcast. He was using the small violin.
No, that wasn't a small violin. I used to just grab and pinch and squeeze his ear when he was being bad. It shut him up real quick. He stopped doing whatever bad he was doing.
I'm gonna call I'm calling CPS right now for child abuse.
You're 32. Get over it, kid.
All right, number 3. I believe, Dad, it's your turn to go first.
I have Tampa Bay 3rd.
I got Boston at 3.
Yeah, I've got the Bruins at 3. I'm not sure what you're seeing in Tampa Bay, but man, good luck to those people out there, huh? Jeez.
Oh,
yeah, with all the
and Carolina too.
Yeah, it's been a tough 2 weeks for those 2 cities. So hopefully,
the home of the company I work for is in Fort Myers.
Oh wow!
And they were shipping. They shut down and shipped everything to Aliso Viejo, and we were getting all the stuff, all the lab work for both labs.
Wow!
It stopped as of yesterday.
Okay.
So they're back, and
everybody's okay in the corporate office for your team.
I haven't heard of any, any. Obviously, the building was designed, from what I heard, to withstand a Category 5. So all that is good. Now, every individual with their homes, I haven't heard much about any of that.
Yeah, I've heard there's no power, obviously, and some of the storm surge got some of the cities down south of Tampa have some water in them, pretty bad. A friend of mine actually sat through. Hopefully, we heard they were okay, but they actually stayed through it, and they're just south of Tampa. And he was reporting that power was a problem, and then obviously there's water in their house. So hopefully they will be in a better situation soon. But for anybody that's out there, we're just wishing you the best.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Totally agree.
All right. At number 2, I have Florida. Oh, no. Yeah, I have Florida at number 2.
I have Toronto at number 2.
And I have Toronto also. You just can't put the Maple Leafs at 1. It's kind of faux pas.
If Joseph Wall stays healthy, I'm still saying, if he stays healthy, look out.
Yeah, but he's not healthy, is he?
As of right now, I think he.
I thought I just heard something about.
Oh, don't jinx it already for me, please.
Well, you're the guy that put Toronto in the number 1 spot. So
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
I think now they got Berube, they got hopefully Matthews does a better job being a captain than Tavares did. I feel like they got better on defense with picking up Tanev and Ekman Larson. So I was I think, and they got a better backup now with Anthony Stolarz too. So that's what I
like Stolarz.
Yeah, I like Stoli.
He
Stoli the goalie.
Played their first game.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wall's out from.
That's why I said. Sorry, Cody.
I'm sticking with Toronto being number 1. It's hard to go against Matthews scoring $80 million a year.
There's got to be a loser.
Yeah, Dad. your turn.
Florida.
For number 1.
Yeah.
Yep. And
you have Toronto.
Yep, and I got Toronto number 1. Yep.
Yeah. So who's different now?
Yes.
No. Oh boy.
All right. Metro. All right. So on that one, I have Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa, Tampa, Boston, Florida, Toronto. Dad, you got Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa, Boston, Tampa, Toronto, Florida. Eric, and you also have Montreal, Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa, Tampa, Boston, Toronto, and Florida.
Be interesting to see at the end of the year how good we actually do.
Yeah, because if Detroit wins this division, I'm just giving up on this.
Yeah.
I can't see that.
No, they aren't. But
I can't see that at all.
No. But
the Mets are in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, what a shock.
Not only are they in the playoffs, they were the first team to make it to the semis.
Yeah,
the championship series.
They're in the National League Championship Series now.
Yeah.
Against the Dodgers.
The Doyers.
Dodgers.
Right. Metro Division. I think we all probably got the same first 2, 8 and 7. Unless someone changed their mind already.
Columbus and Philadelphia.
Yeah, Columbus and Philly.
Yeah.
That's a lock.
Yeah, I agree.
I assume Columbus will be the number 1 pick next year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Probably.
I mean, they've had tragedy.
It's sad.
Yeah, that's Johnny Hockey.
They lost their best player. I mean, to a drunk driver. Please don't drink and drive.
Please do not.
So
do
true.
not drink. Uber, Lyft, or just find a DD.
Just walk.
Drink at home if you want to drink.
Stay home.
There you go.
Goodness.
Yeah. So number 6. I'll start with number 6. I got the Islanders at 6.
I got Washington.
I got Washington. I don't know how you have the Islanders so low.
They just don't excite me. They have, I think, one good line, and then one decent defensive pair, and then I mean their goalies is probably what's going to save them.
Yeah, he didn't. But he didn't have a good. He didn't really have a good year last year. So he has a good year.
Yeah, but I mean, and as I said, I have nothing against Patrick Waugh, but he didn't do very well in Colorado. But then again, usually you always do better on your second coaching job. So, but
Okay.
I just don't think he has
So
a better lineup than the people in front of him.
The New York Islanders and the smart guys have Washington there.
Smart.
I mean, Utah did beat them in the first game, but I think Washington it's going to be the Ovechkin goal season. So he's going to have the puck most of the time, and he's going to be firing off the shots most of the time. And I mean, I know there's some new guys there. I think one of Gary's favorite players is over there. But yeah, I don't see Washington being very good this year.
I thought they had one of the best off seasons out of everyone.
Well, you take away Dubois, they had a great off season. I mean,
Dubois could be the reason why Ovechkin breaks the record.
Now, here's the thing: is if Dubois would have a resurrection and become the player everybody thinks he should be, they could be actually pretty good. But he's the key. If to me, it's like they made that trade to try to get someone to get the puck to Ovechkin. They really didn't have great centers because Backstrom retired, right?
Yeah, Backstrom, and then
Oshie isn't a center though, right?
No, he's a winger, but he's on LTIR now because he's out for the year. Oh, what was the other guy's name? Starts with a K. I want to say. I can't remember, but he was also part of the main reason, but I can't remember his name. So at number 5, Eric, who do you have in the Metro?
We're gonna put the Penguins there.
I have Penguins there too.
Oh, it's a winner chicken dinner, Pittsburgh. At number 5. Number 4, I have the Islanders.
I like that, Gary. I think I agree with you on that one. I think the Islanders are a number 4 team and not a number 6 team.
So you have Washington there, right, Cody?
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I have Washington.
I'm like, oh boy,
Washington winning the. No, I'm just kidding.
So Cody,
I have Washington. Yes, I have Washington at 4.
Cody has the PL Dubois. Dubois is at number 4 in the Metro.
Yeah. See,
Washington
if I look bad, then that's fine. But I'm saying PL Dubois is going to help Ovi break the record this year.
Oh, I have a feeling Ovi's going to get the record this year. He wants it.
But I'm saying Dubois is going to help him. I have a feeling this isn't going to be I hate to say it, but I hope PL Dubois. I feel like he deserves to have a good season after everything, but you never know.
So let's move on to number 3 then.
All right, I got Carolina at 3.
Carolina at 3.
That sounds amazing. Hat-trick.
Trick.
All right, Eric, who do you have at 2?
I have the New Jersey Devils.
That's where you're. No.
That's where you're wrong.
I might be wrong. Okay. This is my year of going out on a limb.
Oh boy, which limb?
Well, if you asked, I think we talked about it last week when the podcast got kind of messed up. I had the Rangers going to the Stanley Cup. They disappointed me.
Yeah,
it's early.
They definitely. So I have the Rangers at number 2.
I have the Rangers at 2, and that means I have the Devils at 1.
And I have the Devils at 1, and we know you have the Rangers because you're a big Ranger fan. I can tell.
Oh, I'm all about the Rempire. I love that kid.
the Rempire.
I love that kid, man. He's a good kid. He loves the fans. He's a classy guy, and you can root for him. He's easy to root for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
I have to tell you, the Rangers, they got Panarin, and they got Zibanejad, they got Fox, Trocheck. I got to tell you, nobody thought Trocheck, except for me, would have the season he had last year. He might have been the reason I had such a good fantasy season, because I did have Trocheck, and he was
good.
very good. And,
I mean-
and your daughter stole him.
She did, and she liked him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, she picked him because she liked his name. That's how you win.
I got to tell you,
I think that was one of the ones that she stole from me too.
if he does what he did last year, woo, he was. I tell you what, he was a difference maker for my team. So I guess we're going to be moving to the West now, huh?
Yep. To the Central.
Okay, I'll go first. This
Go
is a
for it.
hard one. I don't know who I'd pick here. Wait,
Seriously?
the Blackhawks.
Oh, I was like, really?
Oh, the Chicago Bedards.
Yeah, the
I have an
Bedards.
8.
Hey, Bertuzzi's over there, and so is Alec Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Martinez is like 38 years old. I'm not sure how much.
38 is a great age.
Are you speaking from experience?
I wish I was 38, but I'll tell you, 38's a great age. I really remember doing a lot of things at 38.
I don't remember a single thing from 38.
You're not even 38.
Yeah. I don't know.
Didn't you just turn
Exactly.
like 27 or something last week?
32.
No,
32?
I just turned
Damn.
12.
Gary, you're
12.
He
71.
turned 32 on episode 32.
Oh,
Yeah.
how
Who
convenient.
could have? Did you plan that? I want to say.
Yes,
I mean,
I
you
planned
were-
that exactly.
He goes, "Hey, we got to start this weekend. Let's do this." I was going, "Podcast? I'm not even sure I can do this."
On our Jonathan Quick, isn't Jonathan Quick 32 in the Kings world?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, on our Jonathan Quick episode, he turned 32.
Yep.
That's awesome. That is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
When
I
our
thought that was funny,
70,
too.
when, do we have our 70th lined up with Gary's birthday?
Not yet.
No.
Um,
The 100 will
a
match
little
the
over
100 with
3
him.
years, Eric. A little over 3 years.
Damn, really? Yeah.
All right. 7. I have St. Louis at 7.
Yeah, St. Louis has started pretty good this year, though.
Yeah, Falk
They're,
has
they're,
been
they're
hot.
2-1.
Shen, yeah.
You know, I was gonna pick him up, and
Who?
Justin Falk.
Yeah, he hung out on the board a couple of rounds.
He did, and I was like thinking like, no, I like this person more. But I was looking at the top scores, and I think he was he had the most points. I want to say for a while. I want to say he was one of the top fantasy points.
Yeah. Earlier this week, he definitely was.
earlier.
He's had a good week. I just think they're weak in goal. That goal is so bad. What is that, Bennington or whatever his name is?
Yeah,
Oh,
Cody has him.
Yeah.
I have him
Whoever
too.
has him
Oh,
got a
by the way,
tough
I
year
had
ahead.
Hey, Eric.
What's that?
Eric, I had him last year. I won the fantasy league, and I had Bennington.
Oh, that's good. So whoever has Bennington wins the fantasy league.
Oh,
Oh,
then Cody's winning.
sweet.
We'll
Good,
see
I like
what
it.
happens this. Well, you know what? We have 2 less teams, so the teams will all be stronger,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes it actually where you can compete more because
Yeah.
all the teams can be stronger. You're not having so many weaker players that you're pulling in. So
Yeah. The waiver wire has been good. Dylan Gunther was sitting on the waiver wire. My daughter grabbed him after his 2 goals.
So Justin Falk has the second
noticed.
most fantasy points this week.
Really? Who's number
Yeah.
one?
Someone that I stole from my dad, Shea Theodore.
Gary, how does that make you feel?
well, you know what's funny? He had a great start last year, and then he was out for like 2 months.
No, I know.
And somehow I was still able to win. But he was like my number 1 defender last year. And then I go, oh, he's still available. Oh, I'm going to get him with this next pick. And
Good-looking guy, right?
Yeah,
named
right.
Cody.
Some
swooped up.
quack got in
Some-
there and took it
some-
from me.
quacky boy. took
Yeah,
him
it happened
from
like
me.
5 or 6 times where I drive someone and all I hear is "Damn you!"
That's all right. It's you know what? It'll all be fun. It'll all wash out at the end. Somebody's gonna win.
Yeah.
And then you know what? 7 people are gonna not win.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
All right.
We'll go from there. I'm not gonna worry about it.
All right. So we all had Chicago at 8. Everyone
St.
had St. Louis at 7.
Yep.
All right.
Utah.
At 6.
Utah.
At
the
6.
the Phoenix Coyotes of Utah
Yeah.
are at 6.
I got Minnesota at
6.
At 6.
That might actually pan out.
No, it might. That's those two are.
It can go either way with those two.
I could see Winnipeg falling too. I mean, they're okay, but I could see them falling.
If Hellebuck gets injured or he spends any significant time on LTIR, they could drop.
Yeah, but if they stay healthy, which they didn't stay healthy last year, Winnipeg. I mean,
Yeah.
They could either fall or they could be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy they got from the Kings.
I mean the many players they fleeced from the Kings.
Well, the best player they fleeced from them.
What
can't I think of his name?
Kapari? No.
Kapari's the worst one they got from him.
No. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Velarde?
Velarde.
He killed the Ducks.
If he stays healthy, you saw how good the Kings power play was. He was on the number 1 power play the last year he was with the Kings. He was that right shot. He was scoring a lot of goals. And he even got hurt that season. If he could stay healthy, along with Scheifele and
Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could be tough. Could be good. I just think that
they could also drop. I agree with you, Eric.
Everything's kind of hitched around that first line, and even like Minnesota's got the same problem. The depth is a little questionable. So any of those teams, and then you've got a young Utah team. So any of those, I could see any of those kind of bouncing in between 4 and 6.
6 could all jumble
switch
it up. It could all.
But I'm going to tell you, Minnesota's got a great goalie. I'm hoping this is Fleury's Vezina year. Hoping for about 10 shutouts this year. You know,
I'm not even sure he'll be.
Honestly,
he's not going to be number 1.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that because it is his last year.
Yeah, I mean, he on the retirement leg.
He's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. Very great goalie, nice guy.
Who's your favorite goalie, Gary?
Mine of all time.
All time.
It's hard to go against Quick.
It's obviously not Hasek.
Right. It's definitely not Dom.
Yeah.
The Dominator doesn't fit in that world.
Yes, he does.
He's not a king.
The look I got though. That was the mom look.
Yeah, you got the look there, but no. I mean,
that's a very rare dad
because I'm
look.
a Kings fan. A Quickie would be right up there. The greatest of all time, obviously, Hasek's right there with Brodeur, Roy.
Wah. God, you can't even say it's 3 letters, and you still can't even say it right.
It's ROY. It's Roy, like Roy Rogers.
Oh Jesus!
Or Wawa Rogers.
Raw. Yeah. So yeah, those.
I thought you were going to tell me Kelly Rudy, but we can deal with that.
Enjoyed him when he played for the Kings. Took him to a Stanley Cup final. They didn't win it, but hey, he was all right. But he's not a Hall of Famer.
No, you don't have. Your best doesn't have to be a Hall of Famer, does he?
Well, I think Quick will be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he will.
The winningest USA born goalie in hockey history.
Just barely beat out Ryan Miller for that.
Yeah, Ryan Miller was an incredible guy.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to be a Hall of Famer, though. Do you think will be?
I think Ryan Miller will be.
Because he has been such a backup for the.
I think he's kind of in between.
Well,
I don't know. The Hockey Hall of Fame looks at things differently than like baseball and football.
He did have a good international career though too. He was part of that big I think he was the goalie when Crosby scored that game winner in the Olympics that year. I think he was one of the main reasons they even stayed in that championship game. But let's get this.
Let's move on.
Finish these predictions, and then we can kind of start going off the rails.
So where were we?
All right, number 5.
The crazy train.
Minnesota.
You have Minnesota at 5.
Minnesota for me.
I got Utah at 5. And then number 4, I got Winnipeg.
I have Winnipeg.
That's a hat trick, boys.
Yeah.
Suit them up.
Suit them up. Another hat trick for 3.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's fire some snipes, eh?
Number 3,
Nashville.
Yep.
Dang, another hat trick, dude.
Yeah,
Woo.
this is where I'm going to be different.
Yeah.
Of course. There's always
That's
got to
gonna
be
ruin
one.
it. Yeah.
There we go.
All right, number 2, Eric. Who do you have?
The Stanley Cup champ. Just kidding. Colorado Avalanche.
I have Colorado.
I put
That too.
Dallas. They don't have Pavelski. They don't have...
They have Jake
They got
Ottinger.
the Otter.
The Otter. This is his year. Big fan over here.
I like him, but I
He's a
don't
playoff
put him in
goalie.
the same category as like Vasilevsky or
Oh no,
Shesterkin
not yet.
or
Hellenbuck,
Hellenbuck. Not yet.
not yet. I would
He's
say
not
he's
as
probably
quite consistent, and that's why Dallas hasn't won a cup. If he would be more
Well,
consistent, they
I
would
don't-
have won a cup.
I wouldn't say that because he's consistent in the playoffs.
He's only 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means me and Eric have Dallas winning the Central, and you got Colorado winning.
And I'm
I
going to
do.
put the President's Trophy on Dallas. It's going to take them a little while to get hot. It doesn't look like that early, but I could see Robertson and Johnson boys firing off a lot of shots here.
You know what, Eric? I'm backing you up on that.
There you go. Come on, Gary.
Dallas for a President's Trophy.
Yeah, Gary, come on. You going to join the team? Make it a
I think
hat trick.
I think it's probably between them in Edmonton and Vancouver. Those 3.
Really,
No,
Vancouver.
I wouldn't say I would say Edmonton and the Devils.
You know, I did put the Devils up at the top. That I'm stretching there. To me, that's
Yeah.
a stretch. But I've been doing a lot of stretching this year. So.
It's good for you.
Well,
Yep.
you know, it's like it's easy to make the easy prediction, to make a harder prediction, and boy, if it ever comes true. I mean, honestly, like I think I mentioned before, who would have ever picked the Dodgers to be the World Series champions in 1988?
Yeah.
Their best hitter was Mickey Hatcher.
Good old Mickey.
I mean, think about that. They beat Canseco and
That's Canseco.
the one who
we're
had the
gonna-
ball bounce off his head and go over the fence for a home run.
That would be the same Jose Canseco. Yes.
Yeah, same guy. Yeah, and then
That is
McGuire
Mr. 40 himself.
and yeah,
Yep, with Walt Weiss and Dave Stewart and Eckersley and Terry Steinbach.
yes.
My-
I mean, who'd have thought? That's where I was like, sometimes the crazy pick is the one that wins.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I'm with you 100%. I think Dallas is going to get a lot more
I
opportunities than these other teams, but Edmonton's not a far off pick either.
Yeah. All right.
No.
Well, speaking of Edmonton, let's get into the Pacific predictions. We keep going a little off topic here.
all right, let's go.
All right.
I'm ready.
At 8,
What's
I got San Jose at 8.
San Jose it is.
Dad?
Should I just piss you guys off and say the Ducks? No, I got San Jose.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're not going to like who I have at 7 if you would have said that.
Go ahead and do it. You'll be
No, I'm just kidding.
wrong.
I know. All right. Eric, who do you have at 7?
I unfortunately have the Ducks. I
see,
don't see a bright. This year's not going to be an amazing year. I think it'll be just a complete rebuilding year.
See, I think you're wrong on that one.
I got Calgary.
I got Calgary at 7. I think their roster has turned over the most, and I mean Huberdeau hasn't looked good in 2 years there. Kadri's been okay there. Uyghur's I think only been the only good one. Their 2 goalies barely have any
They're
NHL
500
experience.
goalies too. I mean, I could see that. I just think Anaheim's too young. And then Igor's out too, right? In Calgary, I think he's sitting on the IR right now.
Serengovich?
Yeah.
Probably. So yeah, and he was probably one of the bright spots from last year.
Him and Huberdeau, yeah. Those guys. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, 7A and 7B could definitely be Calgary and Anaheim. We'll see what Dostal does tonight. If he does well tonight, that's promising. But after him, you have Reimer, and Reimer's a journeyman goalie, basically. I mean,
see, the only good thing is, because I was listening to another Ducks podcast, Crash the Pond, and they were talking about the starters for the Ducks for the goalies. So I think they only have to use their backup at least maybe 2 or 3 times before Gibson's time is supposed to be when he's supposed to be back, that timetable. So Reimer would only play maybe 2, maybe 3 games. So Dostal would be playing majority of the games.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You have that opportunity, but that's barring any other issues with Gibson.
Yeah, but the Ducks are starting healthy this.
There is some truth to that, and they've got some young studs coming up, so that they can pull from.
Because like Carlson was out starting the year, Killorn was out starting the year, last year. Somebody else was also injured to start the year. So like,
are we talking about our number 6 pick now, or are we still at 7?
number 6. Yeah, I got Anaheim at 6.
Before we do there, I think Kadri's going to have another breakout season this year.
Why? Because you have Kadri on your fantasy team?
I picked him because I felt he's going to have a breakout.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
I like Kadri though.
But I do at 6 have Anaheim. But then again, if everything hits, they could be 4 or 5.
That's if everything hits.
Because there's a whole lot of things that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't know.
Yeah.
So I have Anaheim at 6. I take it you have Calgary, right?
Eric? I've got that. I've got Anaheim at 7 and Calgary at 6.
Okay.
And then 5, Eric, who do you have?
The Kraken.
Kraken? That's what I got.
I have the Kraken also.
The Quacken.
And I know you guys both have LA probably at 4. I have Vegas because I think Vegas. I mean, I know they started off really good.
I mean, I think they've got the most goals, don't they?
They do, but that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, it does at the end.
Their biggest problem is depth. They don't have it. If they have injuries, they could drop. They could drop to 6 if they have injuries. Which, tell me what year they haven't had injuries.
True.
I mean, Mark Stone's going to be out for 2 months before the playoffs and come back and play in the first game.
Hey, settle down. I think he's on my team, my fantasy
I know you
team.
picked him up. I'm going injury. Eric, Eric, injury.
You save at least one IR spot for him around the trade deadline.
I mean, they have 12 goals in 2 games.
Well, they won the first 6-7 games last year.
Yeah.
So
we got to play them tomorrow. So they've got kind of a light schedule. Avalanche was pretty good. They actually handed the Avalanche Wednesday an 8-4 loss. But beating the Blues yesterday, Blues started to make a move on them. So, I mean, I don't know. I like Vegas. I think they're better than LA. But if they keep scoring goals like they're scoring, this could be a whole different conversation in this Pacific Division.
Yeah. So
we'll see what happens.
Yes. So
it's
at
early.
4,
you don't know yet.
So at 4, Eric, you have LA.
Yeah, I have the Queens on 4.
Same. Queens at 4.
The
And
Dutch.
Dad, you have Vegas at 4.
Right.
And then obviously we got the opposite at 3. I got Vegas at 3. Eric has Vegas at 3, and you have LA at 3. Right, Dad?
I have Vegas at 4 and LA at 3.
Yeah.
And by the way, tonight for dinner, the Queens are having duck a la orange.
A la orange.
If you even knew how to make that, I would come to your house just to eat the crap. Like,
I'm actually surprised you didn't even know how to pronounce it.
duck a la orange? Was
Uh,
that like some Orange County delicacy or what?
Yes.
Oh boy.
All right. At number 2, who do you have, Dad?
Vancouver Canucks.
Same.
It's a hat trick, boys.
And then obviously then we all have
Edmonton to win.
Edmonton.
You can't go against Draisaitl and McDavid, and although Stuart Skinner's not exactly holding the net down, huh?
Yeah, didn't they lose their first game like 6-0?
I think it was 4 something, but yeah, the point was I think they pulled them like late in the third period, but it was bad.
Let's see. I'm trying to find. Oh wow, they lost 6-0 to the Jets.
It was 6-0. Wow.
Yeah, to
Stuart Skinner
Winnipeg.
coming off the playoff run that he had, where he's fairly impressive. I mean, better than average. To coming into this, I was like, whoa, he was unprepared.
See, he's another young guy like Swayman. They've got some maturing to do.
I trust Swayman more than Skinner.
I do too, but then again, how many people have Draisaitl and McDavid?
And honestly,
I mean, really, honestly,
and I think Edmonton had a sneaky good off season too.
They did. They've brought in a couple pieces that they really did need.
Yeah, really didn't help them on Wednesday night, though.
Right.
Didn't help them on Wednesday night.
All right. So, Stanley Cup final predictions. We literally all had different picks.
Yeah, let's let the Duchess of Queens tell us what he's got, because that would make it more
Duchess
exciting.
of Queens.
Lord Gary.
From one bald guy to another. I went on a stretch.
Hey, can I have hair in this podcast?
I'm picking Toronto and Colorado.
Oh, wow.
With Colorado winning it.
Okay. Eric?
I'm going to stay a little closer to home, and I've got Dallas and the Rempire.
Who do you have winning?
I'm Dallas all the way right now. I like the team, and I'm hoping they stay healthy. So I'm an all in for Dallas this year.
All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Which limb?
This is the year that the Canadian team curse ends.
You got Edmonton winning it, right?
Edmonton versus New Jersey, and Edmonton wins. So McDavid will be the first player ever to win the Conn Smythe back-to-back years out, and he's the first player to lose and win
back-to-back years.
Yeah.
He didn't look real impressed with losing last year, so I can definitely see him wanting it this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he
has the taste.
Yeah, he's got blood. He sent some blood in the water. So
I think
like
Draisaitl too.
Yeah, Draisaitl.
He didn't have a good final, so I think he was like, he's gonna, I think, come back stronger, especially with that new contract of his.
Well,
guys, I got to tell you, there is this guy that you guys need to keep an eye on. His name is Liam O'Brien.
Spicy tuna?
Spicy tuna. He's going to be my favorite player ever. This guy is the coolest dude. And to be named Spicy Tuna, can you imagine? Like, I just, when I grow up, that's what I want to be. Liam O'Brien.
When I grow up.
Eric, do you remember Tuna that used to
Yeah,
umpire?
of course. Terry Canning, of course.
You know, his nephew plays for the Angels, right?
Yeah, Griff. Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to umpire him when he played with Craig.
Yeah, you know Terry passed away.
I didn't know Terry moved on. No, that's
he
new
moved
information.
on. Yeah, he lost his wife. He lost all his weight. He went back to umpiring again, and then with a different
Organization.
I never did see him again, but I saw a post about him a few times, and he did pass away, I think, a year or two ago.
Ah, what a good!
So,
he was great. I remember
when
him and Charles White used to always work together. Remember when the Heisman Trophy winner, Charlie, and they would always work together, and Charlie would do all the plates.
I think I worked with Charlie once. He wasn't the best umpire.
Charlie?
Yeah,
he was there to make money.
Yeah,
he was there to make money. No, it was a good time. I hate to hear that about Tuna, but he was a great guy. And Griff, yes, Griff was. It was funny actually. I was watching a game, and Griff and Dom Fletcher, the little lefty that played on that same team, he was a younger guy, short kid, left-hander, real spark fire. Remember him? Him and his brother Dave. They played on the Angels also, and Dom's on the White Sox. And I happened to catch a game Griff was playing against him. So it's Stan Graybeck's team. Remember Stan and Craig's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, obviously, I had both of them. I didn't. You know what? I didn't pay attention to their names back then.
No. We knew they were good though. You're behind the dish and you line up behind certain guys. It was you know when they're gonna go. So.
Oh, what was the name of that team?
The Black Sox.
What team did we have? Who was that? Remember when I took the one off the mask?
I was literally just thinking
and they were playing the Rawlings team.
It was like they had like players from Texas and Florida and stuff like that.
And I always wear the helmet, and this guy was throwing 14 years old, 92 or 94 or something.
Was it Isaac Gutierrez?
I don't remember the name, to be honest with you.
Wasn't one of the catchers? He was like he was going to Mater Dei, wasn't he? Something Martinez, Jeremy Martinez.
Oh no, that's the Crush.
But wasn't I think that was one? I think he was playing for that team that day though.
Yeah, because I used to insure his parents, Jeremy Martinez, when I was an insurance agent way back in my young.
You're going back.
Yeah,
I remember lining up. I remember doing some games with you, Gary, in our lifetime.
Yeah, well, Cody was working with me, and these two teams were playing each other. And I bet you it was great. I bet you the Fletcher boys, I didn't even realize they were on that. And it was a great game. And it ended up being a 3-2 win. But I took the big lefty from Rawlings threw a pitch, and the guy tipped it. It hit my mask.
Uh-huh.
I thought he died.
It hit my mask up by my eyes, but it knocked my throat guard. It hit me so hard, and then I was dazed. And because of the foul ball, I took time out. I pulled it off. I went and got a drink of water. I think you ran over and picked up my throat guard. And when I looked at my helmet, it had bent in.
Yeah, get a dent.
It hit so hard. It bent it in a little bit. My sister was watching the game, and she goes, "Are you okay?" I go, "I'm a little dazed right now." So, I mean, I think everybody realized I was dazed. It's the only time I've ever felt something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
and I know it was Graybeck because he was. I never had a problem with him as a coach ever.
Wait, so that game we had the Fletcher boys.
Dom's he had longer hair. He was younger. He's gotten to the big leagues since, because a lot of those kids got up. Like Chris Betts, the catcher, went over to Tampa, and even Austin was over at the University of Oregon, and the younger Graybeck also went. I think they called him John or something like that. I think he even went to like the Carolinas, but that team just in general was so classy and was so well organized. But yeah, Griff played for him.
So because I remember David and Dom, they played with Van Skip's son at Cyprus. They were part of when they won CIF that year.
I mean, that's possible, yeah. Van
You
Skip
remember
was
Van
great.
Skips?
Yeah.
What was his son's name?
Elijah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember having Elijah, and he's catching, and he was pulling. And I go, I go, stop pulling. And he'd pull it again. I go,
stick the ball, boys.
I go, if you do it again, I'm telling your dad. Did he stop? He stopped because
He stopped.
Skip was a big guy, scary guy. Okay, we're missing one thing before we finish, guys. Trivia question.
Oh,
Anybody else got one? I have one.
I nope.
Okay.
No.
So there have been 8 Michigan goals in the history of the NHL to this date. Who has scored the most Michigan goals?
Is that really even a question?
It is.
It's obviously Zegras.
Nope.
Or he has 3, right?
He has 2. They account kind of the pass to Milano over the net as like a Michigan, but that was an assist, not a goal.
Oh, and then it's Svechnikov.
Svechnikov is the correct answer with 3.
Nice.
Zegras has 2.
Doesn't Bedard have one?
He does.
Bedard has 1.
He has 1.
So Bedard and Zegras' last one, they did literally the same day.
Oh,
First time that ever happened that they had 2 Michigan, and that's in this question. I just looked it up for who had the most Michigans, and that's actually stated in the notes on the thing I looked up. So
because I know he did it against the Canadians, he did it against the Kraken. I could have swore he had another Michigan goal too. Oh no, he does have 3. He did one against the Kraken. He did one against the Coyotes, and he did one against the Montreal Canadiens.
Gary, are you wrong on this answer?
no,
Look
Are
it
you
up.
sure?
this is as of May 13th, 2024.
So you can look it up, but I guarantee you, because he had the one against the Canadians. He has the one. Then he did the one because he did it around Milano. That was the against the Coyotes. That was what started the whole when Terry got beat down by his name.
I'm looking it up. They're tied. You're right. They're tied with 3.
Wow.
I know my team.
What a comeback.
So I was right originally.
The Czar of Quack City
And
knows
I have
his
him
stats.
on my fantasy team. I hope he has 5 this year. Only not against the Kings.
I hope all of my skaters get a Michigan goal this year when I'm playing you.
Boy, 2 young guys picking on an old man. How good do you guys really feel about that?
I don't know about 2 young guys. I think there's, 1 young guy and 1 old guy, and then picking on an old guy.
What is this? Tropic Thunder? I'm a black guy disguised as another black guy disguised.
So how old are you, Eric?
Oh, this is a public podcast, man. Can't I get away with not having to air out my age?
Dad, it's very inappropriate to talk like that to our special guest here.
Shut up. I can do what I want to do.
So I guess
will tell you this. I'm on the verge of my 42nd birthday.
Oh.
You're still a baby.
I know. It's been fun. So, Gary, at 70, does it get easier?
I would almost bet in a 20-yard dash I might beat you running, buddy.
Dude, I smoked you on that field. I remember you'd go A to C slot, which is first to basically around third. The kid would be passing second, and you would be just getting to the C slot. And I'm like, that kid just ran 180 feet before you ran 60.
Hey, Eric, your nose is growing just like Pinocchio's.
So, Dad, when you're in high school, was it hard, like racing in the 100-yard dash against the Velociraptors?
If you didn't win, you were eaten. So I'm still here because you how fast I was.
should ask him what it was like. You should ask him what it was like when they opened the arc door.
The arc door.
Remember,
All right, well, we need to get
He
we
has
need
to
to get
shut
rolling.
this off in 4 minutes, or
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
the
right.
person who wears the pants in the family is going to come yell at him.
All right, so I'm gonna add to my intro that the Indeed post will be going out for a new co-host of Royally Quacked. Eric, you're more than welcome.
So he's going to become royally?
No,
nobody can do that.
Because right now he's nothing but quacked.
Oh,
that's fine. We'll be Quacky Quack.
Oh boy.
The
Quack and
Quacky Quack
Quacker.
podcast?
The Quacky Quack podcast. There we
we're
go.
gonna be on the wrong kind of podcast.
Yeah. But Eric, we again thank you very much for coming back on, especially after the hiccup we had last week.
No worries, man.
Hopefully Mark Recchi and Chris Chelios don't help you enough to beat us on fantasy.
Hey,
or Ed Belfour.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, we got some exciting stuff coming up too. We've got a bunch of signings both in Buffalo, and then we're doing some in Chicago with a lot of the Hall of Famers. So like Grant Fuhrer and all those guys are coming around. So it's been fun, man. I picked up this about a year ago, and you guys have piqued my interest. I saw it on your guys' Facebook. And before I know it, man, here we are talking hockey. So, I really appreciate the friendship, but really the thoroughness of like watching you grow as a man, and Gary and I've, been on the field together and worked together, like just a father-son watching a sport in the right way is so exciting to see, because that's what sports is really about. It's not it's not about all the money and stuff, guys. So, I really had fun with you guys, and, I cherish your guys' friendship for sure. So if you guys need me back on, let me know.
Well, you always have an open invitation, Eric.
Appreciate that.
Cody needs some help because I will just kick his ass anyway. So, we'll invite you back so he can have some help.
Yeah. I mean, we'll let him think he got a few barbs in there. But at the end of the day, listen, all I care about is that we beat you, and that's what I told my girls. And I got one team I want to beat all the time.
Perfect. Well, we're going to have fun doing it no matter what. And the neat thing about fantasy hockey is it keeps you, you can watch any game and it's still fun because you have something vested in it. And that's what I've always shared with Cody. And I still play football. I stopped playing the baseball one.
Physically play football, or you?
No. I'm talking fantasy sports.
Fantasy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
No.
you're. I've seen a guy very similar to you. He's on Step Brothers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, weren't you on Seinfeld?
I think you guys were on the same career path.
Weren't you on Seinfeld?
Oh boy,
George? Weren't you George?
I feel insulted.
Well,
I was not expecting
I wasn't insulted.
Listen. For this podcast, I have hair.
Wait. Right, stay right there. I got the hair. You're now hairless.
Nobody knows I'm bald.
All right.
Well, God put hair on.
Let's get this shut down because I got to get ready, and my wife has a photo shoot. So, oh, wow. Getting a call from another professional athlete.
Aren't you popular?
Actually, I think he was one of the announcers when I did the USSA games. Yeah. So, but let's get out of here before I get in trouble.
Yes, sir.
So everyone, please go follow us on all our social media accounts at Royally Quacked. Please leave a review like Eric, left us a great review. We thank you again for that, Eric. We really do.
Eric.
Absolutely, guys.
So
I hope this gets huge for you guys for sure.
I hope it. I hope it does, just because I want the hockey game to just reach out even more. So, But like I said, everyone, we're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, Amazon, or any of your other favorite podcast platforms. If you have any questions, please send us an email or direct message us on Twitter or Instagram. And we'll be back next week, and we'll be able to have more game recaps. The Ducks games will finally start after tonight, and we'll have more Kings games for you too. So
Absolutely.
and hopefully we'll have Eric on again very soon, especially going over our horrible predictions that we all just made.
Or just we can go over a horrible Kings season. Just kidding.
So, all right, guys. Well,
Oh,
all right. Well, again, Eric, thank you very much for joining
Thanks,
us.
guys.
So,
and don't forget, fans, go Kings, go!
let's go Ducks. Later, guys. See you next week.